It's not necessarily about winning and losing. However, we are here to win. But I personally am more interested in the process of winning, of best performance. What makes best performance?
Who is the coach Williams?
I'm from London, or just north of London in the UK. Started karate at the age of 14. By the time I was 19, I made the England team, and I represented England and Great Britain for 14 years until I retired in 1999, so you can do the maths on my age. In that period, I achieved 2 World Championship gold medals, team and individual, 4 European Championship gold medals, 1 individual, 3 team, 2 individual silver medals, World Games silver and bronze medal as well. So I was quite prolific as an athlete. Then after that period, I went into coaching for England regions, and then assistant national coach, and then eventually I became the national kumite coach for England. And then I was there for a period of 6 years. We had some great successes there. And then in 2017, I took up the post for head coach for the Hong Kong China karate team, which is where this is my present position at the moment.
Yes, you tell something about your career basically, but I want to ask you that how did you start karate? What is your story about meeting with karate?
Yeah, I mean, my story is not dissimilar to many people's story. Just a fascination with martial arts, whether at that time, whether it would be kung fu or karate or taekwondo. But even before I started, I had a fascination with martial arts, and just conveniently, there was a friend a friend of my father that lived close by, and he just started teaching my brother and I, and then we went from there to a formal club, but he gave up nearly as quickly as he started, and I'm still here today.
As a coach, as a professional athlete, you have a philosophy. What's your philosophy as a coach? My coaching philosophy, as many coaches, is unique to that individual. And just before I kind of say what they are, it's really just a culmination of what has brought me to this moment and what I believe that brings success. So for me, it's respect. It's a set of team values. It's respect, discipline, a commitment. But one of the key ones for me is effort, self-belief, and really, if you put your mind to do something and you say that you're going to do, then the key things will be commitment and will be effort. It's not necessarily about winning and losing. However, we are here to win. But I personally am more interested in the process of winning, of best performance. What makes best performance? So it's these characteristics really that underpin my philosophy in coaching. How do you approach the athletes?
Very carefully. I think as a coach, you have to be very conscious about the impact and the power of your words, and what can be a short, flippant sentence or comment to somebody that you personally will disregard almost immediately. The power of your comments to that particular athlete, that might actually cause them stress. It may cause them to go back and overthink some of the issues. And in the events, it's key not to maybe say, just to understand, really the impact of your words and use them carefully for the right circumstance. But we are human,
yes,
and coaches are human. Although that it's great to have a nice textbook answer and this is what you should do, but I think it's also important coach also to find himself, as we say to the athletes, really the answer's with you. It's from within, and just be you. The coaches also have to be you, so you can read that textbook and follow it to the letter, but you need to find that balance with yourself.
Yes.
And you must grow also, so your attitudes and beliefs are not fixed. They can change, they can be influenced, they can grow. And whatever we ask the athletes to do, for me, there are many coaches that actually stop this growth, and this consciousness, and just impart their knowledge. But as your athletes grow, you have to grow with them, or as in many cases, athletes outgrow coaches, and that's why they outgrow coaches, because the coach failed to grow. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. And I think they understand that I have an expectation of performance, and there is a line where that they have to execute, or they are really encouraged to meet that expectation. And but we talk about expectation. I predominantly will press more what expectation they have of themselves, because this is more important.
Yeah.
This is more important from a coaching perspective, is to have the athlete have the high expectations of themselves and then aspire to meet that, not to necessarily meet my expectations. But once it's from inside, once it's intrinsic, then it's a stronger weapon for them to go out and use.
The next one, are you a person who plans every step?
There is lots of quotations, fail to plan, you plan to fail, and all that. And these are very just snapshot things.
Yeah, we were talking before the interview. You came back to Hong Kong after Athens. You came again.
Yeah, that's it. So you have to have a plan. You have to have a blueprint, of the direction, and again, certain things on that blueprint, must happen. But you must also be adaptable. You must have that quality to be able to adapt. If you can't adapt to a situation, if you can't change and you remain fixed, then you're going to be in trouble. So already, I would have plans, but I'm always sending out draft number 2, draft number 3. So, by the end of the year, or halfway through the year, we're probably already on draft number 8. So I do plan, but it's adaptable, it's changeable, and we must look at the indicators such as the environment. The calendar might change, the events might change, an athlete might change their ranking. There could be an injury. Somebody could actually really increase their form and actually become in form. Somebody else could drop, so we have to take this one out. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's really using the science, but it takes an artist, I think, to make sure we use intervention. Yeah, to use the right intervention at the right time. So that's where my role as head coach. And of course, I make mistakes. Athletes make mistakes, but what's important is I must learn from those mistakes. So this is again part of my philosophy.
Yes.
Is that's an important part of development, is making mistakes, but to learn from it.
Being professional athlete or coach, also international coach, is very important because you are traveling a lot.
Yeah.
You can see everywhere. Yeah, you have opportunity, but I don't know, can you see around or not? How is your daily routine?
Well, here really, everyone knows where they've got to be, what they've got to do at a certain time. So it's just managing that timetable and ensuring that the needs are met. And the basic needs are met. It's warm, it's food, drink, training.
Yes.
Make sure you've got your kit, just have a conversation, give them some feedback, some encouragement, and just make sure that they're managing their emotions at this moment in time. And so it's not started yet, so that's basically what I'm doing now. Back in Hong Kong, now I'm in a different role than when I was in the UK. As England, I was the head kumite coach, so very much more hands-on with the coaching. In Hong Kong, I am head coach for kata and kumite. From cadet, junior, senior, so it's a management role, and I spend a lot of time in the office or meeting athletes or events, managing budget, going to always communicating with the other support services that we have, whether it be the physio, nutrition, psychology, strength and conditioning, sports science, biomechanics. So I have to communicate and make sure that each individual, so I may have 40 athletes on the program, but they're all individual with individual needs. So I spend a lot of time in making sure that the program runs and the coaches that we now have. So I always say to the athletes, whether we come away or whether we are like at home, there's always two teams. There's always two teams. There's the coaching team and the support staff. So we have our meetings, and I really reinforce that we are on the same page. We're all going in the same direction, and we run smoothly, and we support and trust each other. So trust and loyalty again are another parts of my philosophy. Then the athletes is the other team. So you need both teams to work. You know, if the coaching and support staff is in discord, is not working together properly, then how can we support the team effectively? So they may perform, but our inefficiency may cause a particular athlete to lose 5%, 2% of their performance because of our behaviour, because of what we haven't done. And as we know, and I'm sure this weekend we're going to see people lose by 0.1 of a second, one in Qatar, in a point. And if we've contributed to that by being unstable as a coaching team, then we must take some responsibility for that loss. But the flip side, we make sure that everything that we're doing is right, on point. We have good staff, we're all working together. The athlete gets what they need, and then they lose by 0.1, then the athlete takes ownership and responsibility for their performance. And that's okay, sure.
I didn't know what my question is, but what do you like most in Hong Kong?
Oh, it's a good question. What do I like? Well, the cuisine, the food is very good.
Maybe food, maybe place, walking around, I don't know.
The food.
Mostly everybody is telling something about food.
Food is varied in Hong Kong. So there's many choices in Hong Kong, but if you're asking me what I like to do, I like to take a walk down the harbour, and then you just see the landscape and just lose myself a little bit, and I can read or just walk, listen to some music. So that's probably one of my favourite pastimes that I do, is just really just take a walk on my own, as all my job is around people. So being on my own is I need to balance that time too.
Okay, this is my last question. If you were not doing karate, what would you do? And which sport would you do?
Which sport would I do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or do you interest in any other sport?
I used to be a teacher for about 10 years, so I'd probably be a teacher, you know, various roles, security roles, teaching roles. What sport? Actually, I wasn't actually a child that was very good at any other sport. You know, so in running I was okay, I was good but never quite good enough. In football I was average. Table tennis, maybe just above average. I used to love table tennis. So in a lot of sports I didn't really excel, but as my older brother would remind me all the time, is that as a young boy growing up, I used to enjoy fighting. Yeah. So maybe it's no accident that I got into karate. So probably another fighting style. And which one, or which ones were available to me at the time? Maybe boxing was probably more prominent.
Yeah, you can say karate as well.
You know, but yeah, well, no, I would, if not for karate, I definitely would be doing some sort of fighting, yeah.
Okay, it's over, Coach. Thank you for coming to our platform or YouTube channel. We are so happy to talk with you about you and your career, your experiences. Thank you again for coming.
Okay, thank you.